How much money did you get from the inheritance? My husband Jack asked me on the night we buried my father. I had heard rumors about my father's wealth, around $3 million, and Jack's question made me uneasy. Still grieving, I lied and said I got nothing. Jack's smile confirmed his suspicion that my family didn't value me, and he promptly asked for a divorce, claiming he couldn't stay married to someone without money. Signing the divorce papers, I felt humiliated as Jack and his family laughed at me. But little did they know, their mockery brought relief. They couldn't understand the joy I felt when Jack revealed his true colors. My name is Emily, part of a family of 4 with a younger sister, Alice. From childhood, Alice and I never got along. Our mother always favored her, leaving me lonely, even with my father's occasional support. Growing up, nothing changed. I couldn't afford college while Alice was privileged to attend a private one. My mother insisted I contribute financially to the household and pay for Alice's education, citing my responsibility as the older sister. Enduring this unfair treatment, I finally snapped and left home to start working. Living alone wasn't tough for me because I was used to doing chores every day. In fact, it felt liberating to have my own space. At first, my father sent me a bit of money to help out, but after 6 months, the support stopped. Instead, I got a letter from my mother accusing me of receiving money without permission. She demanded I repay every cent, claiming I hadn't contributed to my sister's education or supported them financially. Feeling cornered, I reluctantly complied and moved to a new apartment to avoid further conflict. Years later, I met Jack at work and we got married. This seemed like the perfect chance to sever ties with my parents for good. When I went back to tell them about my marriage, I was shocked to see how much my father had aged. He looked frail and worn out, a far cry from the hard-working man I remembered. My mother's callous remarks about him being lazy and useless hit me hard. Jack was taken aback by my mother's attitude, but he seemed smitten with my sister Alice, who had grown more self-centered since starting college. Despite being an adult, Alice still acted like a carefree student, flaunting expensive clothes and garish hair colors. She shamelessly flirted with Jack, making me feel both jealous and hurt. Determined to break free from my toxic family, I announced my intention to marry Jack and cut off all ties. But my mother, munching on snacks, sarcastically asked me to wait until she was done taking care of my father. It was a stark reminder of the selfishness and cruelty I was leaving behind. I don't want to take care of him, and I don't want Alice to suffer either. College is supposed to be her time to enjoy, right? So, Emily, it's your responsibility to look after your father. You two are both incompetent anyway, so you'll get along just fine. My mother's words infuriated me, but I couldn't disregard my father's needs. Despite my anger, I began visiting my parents' house regularly to care for him. As I tended to my father, I noticed neither my mother nor Alice contributed financially. Alice didn't work, and my mother had stopped since my father's collapse. Yet, they indulged in dining out and shopping, even dipping into my father's savings without his consent. He knew but stayed silent. "Dad, they'll keep doing this if we don't stop them," I exclaimed. But he replied, "Even if I told you, Emily, they'd never admit fault. I didn't want to burden you further." He had always worked hard for our family, the only one who truly loved me. Determined to help him, I received a call from the hospital where he'd been rushed after collapsing. Hurrying to my parents' house, I found them nonchalant, claiming his fall was minor. At the hospital, my father lay unconscious, tubes surrounding him. With his last strength, he apologized for failing to protect me. Tears streaming, I begged him to recover, but he slipped away. A week later, a lawyer contacted me about my father's will. The lawyer informed me that my father's will contain details about his inheritance. Astonishingly, it stated that I was to inherit $3 million. I was dumbfounded, unable to believe what I was hearing. It seemed my father had kept this secret stash hidden away, separate from the savings my mother had accessed without his knowledge. He even left a note promising not to disclose this to the rest of the family, his way of ensuring my well-being after he was gone. Once again, I was touched by his thoughtfulness. I made my way back to my parents' house to retrieve the hidden bank book. However, as I approached, I was met by my mother and sister, standing at the front door as if they owned the place. Their hostility was palpable as they accused me of scavenging for valuables now that my father had passed. Unable to reason with them, I tried to explain that I was only there to collect my father's belongings and perhaps a small share of my inheritance. But my mother brandished another document, a second will, purportedly written by my father, but clearly in my sister's handwriting. It stated that all of my father's estate would go to my mother and sister. I knew instantly it was a forgery, but my mother dismissed my protests, claiming she had already informed everyone about its contents. Defeated, I returned home, where Jack awaited. He expressed his disappointment that I hadn't confided in him earlier. He seemed curious about the inheritance, but my gut told me not to reveal the truth. Deep down, I knew there was no inheritance for me. It was a bitter realization, but I couldn't bring myself to share it with Jack. Upon learning that the inheritance would be split solely between my mother and sister, Jack wasted no time. He produced the divorce papers, accusing me of being cursed by my family's ill fate. He claimed I was a burden and admitted he'd been in contact with Alice, implying I was an obstacle to his happiness. Signing the papers was a bittersweet moment, knowing it marked the end of Jack's deceitful charade. As Jack gleefully submitted the divorce papers, I couldn't help but feel a sense of vindication. It seemed karma had finally caught up with those who had tormented my father and me for years. Later that day, I enlisted the help of my father's lawyer and confronted my mother and sister with the real will. Their smug expressions quickly turned to shock as they realized their scheme had been exposed. Desperate to save face, my mother claimed to have another will, but the threat of a handwriting analysis silenced her. The lawyer revealed damning details of their misconduct, including neglecting my father and squandering his assets. They were left speechless, their schemes unraveling before them. With my inheritance secured and justice served, I retrieved my father's hidden bank book and severed ties with my toxic family for good. However, their deceit didn't end there. Jack, unaware of the truth, fell victim to their manipulations, marrying into their facade of wealth. When Jack finally learned the truth, he reached out to me, seeking forgiveness and reconciliation. But by then, I had moved on, finding solace in my newfound freedom. As Jack's call came to an end, I gently reminded him to take care of his new wife, Alice. Moments before Jack's call, I had spoken to Alice, who was distraught over Jack's reckless spending and obsession with wealth. She blamed him for tarnishing her family's reputation and demanded I do something about it. In response, I calmly pointed out to Alice that she and Jack were well-matched in their materialistic pursuits. I reminded her of their apparent closeness while Jack and I were married and hinted at pursuing legal action for compensation for the affair. Decisively, I declared our communication would be through lawyers from then on, cutting off all ties. Despite Alice's protests about family loyalty, I stood firm, refusing to entertain her manipulative pleas. Cutting off all contact, I blocked her calls and focused on my newfound freedom. With my toxic family out of my life, I embraced my independence. Using my inheritance, I built a home where I could finally find peace. Embracing a new job as an office clerk, I found fulfillment in my busy but rewarding life. Though moments of loneliness sometimes creep in, the memory of my father's love sustains me. As I bid him farewell each day, I feel his gentle presence watching over me, reminding me of the strength I've found in forging my own path. In the quiet moments of my solitary evenings, I often find myself reminiscing about the journey that led me to this point of tranquility. As I sit in the cozy confines of my home, surrounded by the warmth of memories and the echoes of past struggles, I can't help but marvel at the resilience that brought me here. Each corner of my house tells a story, the story of a daughter who dared to break free from the shackles of a toxic family dynamic and carve out her own destiny. The walls, adorned with photographs of cherished moments with my father, stand as a testament to the love and support that sustained me through the darkest of times. My new job as an office clerk may not be glamorous, but it fills my days with purpose and meaning. I take pride in my work, knowing that every task completed is a step towards a brighter future, free from the burdens of the past. Occasionally, the pang of loneliness creeps in, a silent reminder of the family I once longed to belong to. But then I remember the freedom I've gained, the peace that now fills the spaces once occupied by chaos and conflict. And in those moments, I find solace in the knowledge that I am finally where I belong, in a home built on the foundation of my own strength and resilience. As I bid my father good night each evening, I feel his presence surrounding me, a silent guardian watching over me as I navigate this new chapter of my life. And with each passing day, I am reminded that true happiness lies not in the wealth or approval of others, but in the unwavering belief in oneself and the courage to forge ahead, no matter the obstacles that may arise. In the end, I am grateful for the challenges that have shaped me, for they have led me to this moment of quiet contentment and inner peace. And as I look towards the future, I do so with a heart filled with hope and a spirit that knows no bounds. For I am Emily, resilient, determined, and finally free. I am the quietude of my domicile. I find myself enveloped in contemplation, reflecting upon the narrative arc that has led me to this juncture of tranquility and self-possession. Each corner of my abode serves as a testament to the odyssey undertaken, bearing witness to the resolve and tenacity that have propelled me forward in the face of adversity. As the diurnal rhythms unfold, I am ensconced in the vocation of an office clerk, a role not distinguished by ostentation, but imbued with a profound sense of purpose and diligence. I derive fulfillment from the conscientious execution of tasks, recognizing each completed assignment as a stride towards the realization of personal and professional objectives. Though the specter of solitude occasionally asserts itself, it serves as a poignant reminder of the emancipation achieved from the ensnaring bonds of a dysfunctional familial milieu. Yet, amid the reverie, the reverberations of familial estrangement are supplanted by a steadfast cognizance of the emancipatory agency that now defines my trajectory. The familial tableau, once fraught with discord and acrimony, has yielded to the quietude of my domestic sanctuary. The visage of my progenitor, immortalized in photographic mementos adorning the walls, serves as a beacon of guidance, a vestige of enduring love and fortitude amidst the vicissitudes of life. As I retire each eve, the ethereal presence of my paternal figure envelopes me, a silent sentinel presiding over the nocturnal hours. It is in these moments of introspection that I am reminded of the intrinsic value of self-reliance and fortitude, virtues that have heralded my ascent from the tumult of familial tumult to the serenity of personal emancipation. In the annals of my narrative, the chapters of adversity have yielded to the promise of self-actualization and emancipation. With an unwavering resolve and an indomitable spirit, I chart a course towards a future imbued with the promise of fulfillment and self-realization. For in the crucible of adversity lies the crucible of opportunity, and it is through the crucible of opportunity that I forge a path towards self-discovery and fulfillment. I am the tapestry of my existence. Each thread represents a moment, a choice, a challenge faced and overcome. As I traverse the landscape of memory, I am reminded of the myriad experiences that have shaped my journey, the trials endured, the triumphs celebrated, and the transformations undergone. My humble abode, once a refuge from the stormy seas of familial discord, now stands as a bastion of tranquility and self-discovery. Within these walls, I have forged a sanctuary, a haven where the echoes of past strife are drowned out by the symphony of inner peace and contentment. The corridors of my mind are adorned with the indelible imprints of cherished memories, each etching a narrative of resilience, courage and perseverance. Amidst the tapestry of recollections, the image of my beloved father remains a luminous beacon, his unwavering love and guidance guiding me through life's tumultuous waters. In the realm of occupation, I have found solace and purpose in the role of an office clerk. Though devoid of grandeur, this vocation is imbued with a sense of duty and responsibility, offering me the opportunity to contribute meaningfully to society while nurturing my own sense of self-worth. Yet, amidst the ebb and flow of daily life, there are moments of solitude, fleeting but poignant, where the specter of loneliness casts its shadow upon my heart. In these moments, I find solace in the knowledge that solitude is not synonymous with loneliness. Rather, it is a sacred space for introspection and self-discovery, a realm where the seeds of inner growth are sown and nurtured. As I bid adieu to each day, I am enveloped by a sense of gratitude for the blessings bestowed upon me, the gift of autonomy, the privilege of self-determination, and the unwavering support of those who have walked alongside me on this journey. In the grand tapestry of life, my story is but a single thread woven into the fabric of humanity's collective narrative. Yet, within the confines of my own existence, I find meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the boundless capacity for growth and transformation. In the embrace of solitude, I find sanctuary, a space where the cacophony of the world fades into the background, and I am left alone with my thoughts. Here, amidst the quiet hum of existence, I delve deep into the recesses of my soul, grappling with the complexities of identity, purpose, and belonging. As I navigate the labyrinth of self-discovery, I am confronted with the stark reality of my past, a tapestry woven with threads of adversity and resilience, joy and sorrow. Each chapter of my life unfolds like a novel, replete with plot twists and unexpected turns, shaping the person I have become and the path I now tread. In the corridors of memory, the image of my father looms large, a towering presence whose love and guidance have left an indelible mark on my heart. His unwavering belief in my potential, even in the face of insurmountable odds, remains a source of strength and inspiration, propelling me forward in moments of doubt and uncertainty. Occupying the role of an office clerk may seem mundane to some, but to me, it is a testament to resilience and perseverance. Each day presents new challenges to overcome, new obstacles to surmount, yet I tackle them with unwavering determination, fueled by the knowledge that every small victory brings me one step closer to my goals. Yet, for all the strides I have made on my journey, there are moments of introspection where the specter of loneliness casts its shadow over me. In these moments, I am reminded of the fragility of human connection, the transient nature of companionship, and the immutable truth that we are ultimately alone in our innermost thoughts and struggles. But amidst the solitude, there is solace to be found in the beauty of a sunset, the melody of a song, the embrace of a loved one. And so, I embrace my solitude, not as a burden to be borne, but as a gift to be cherished, a sacred space for self-reflection and growth. As I bid farewell to another day, I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude for the lessons learned, the challenges overcome, and the blessings bestowed upon me. And as I drift into the realm of dreams, I am filled with hope, knowing that tomorrow brings with it the promise of new beginnings and endless possibilities.